Hey, what's going on, everybody? Did you miss me? It's been a week. I'm so glad you're here listening. Welcome to podcast 233. This is where we're going to jump into some really cool things, and we're going to talk about some mindset stuff. We're going to do some training from a checkup from the neck up right here. Okay. I'm not going to get into sales or overcoming objections or doing the setting the table or all the tactical stuff this week. We're going to put that aside. I'm going to inspire you, at least I hope, with a message that will help you see your business, your journey, your progress a little differently. Because if we can get you to see things in a different way, at the core, that's going to change everything for you. Perception is everything. How we view the world is everything. Because something bad can happen to two different people, the same event. One person says, gosh, why me, God? Why do I have to always get good? What? I'm a walking, talking example of Murphy's Law, right? Or whatever. Complain, complain, negative, negative. The other person, same thing happens, can walk away and go, wow, what a lesson I just learned. What not to do or whatever. What a blessing it was that happened to me. Okay. Same event, two different reactions. Guess what? We get to choose our reactions. That's cool. That's where the rubber meets the road. So, without going into it too deep, let me just say before I do the reminder of the Dallas conference, July 22nd. Okay, I want to see everybody there. You've got 2 more months. Okay, you can get your ticket now, and then you can go out and write even an application. Maybe two applications would probably pay for the whole trip. Do you think you can write two extra applications between now and July 22nd? I think you probably can. This conference is where all the leaders come together. Okay, the link is down below in the email that I sent you. You can click on it, learn more information. But if you think you're a maybe, reserve your ticket, make the commitment. God honors commitment. You make that commitment, you go out and work, and I can tell you things will happen to make it so you can go. But you have to first make that commitment. Faith precedes the miracle. Faith without works is dead. You put those together, take action on a commitment, exercising your faith, and the miracle will happen. That's the way I see it. So I hope you see it the same way. And I hope you come because I want to hang out with you. I want to eat dinner. We want to talk about our dreams, see how you're doing, strategize. Guess what, guys? You can shake hands with all the top producers at Equus in July in Dallas. And we're all coming all across the country, July 22nd. Okay, enough of that. Oh, by the way, they sold out, but they did open up some new seats. So I don't know, I don't know how much they're gonna keep opening them up. So you better get your ticket now while you can. Don't wait. Don't wait to get your ticket until after you've booked airfare. Get your ticket. You can always book airfare later. So, okay, quick thought. This is from James Clear. I got to give credit where credit is due. I love his little e-newsletter. And he says this, he has a little thought about putting in reps. He said, if I'm taking action, if I'm in the zone doing the work, I'm not quoting him exactly, but I'm paraphrasing, then I can remain patient and see what opportunities will arise. But if I'm not taking action consistently, then I'm not practicing patience. I'm simply waiting. Definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results, right? So if your definition, or if you're doing nothing, hoping for some miracle, well, guess what? It's probably going to be the same as last week and the week before. And it's probably not going to work very much the same as it hasn't worked up until now. So we have to practice, we have to get in motion, do the work consistently, and then we can expect great things to happen because God can't steer a parked car. So couple that thought with one of my own. Once you finally get going in motion, feel good about your progress, right? Now we've got to steer that car. We're in motion. We're going to steer that car. So I want to talk about your vision and where you see things. So number one, where are you looking? Are you looking at your goals? And everything else is white noise, right? And by your goals, I mean like where you want to be. What does this look like? Why do you pick up the phone and dial? Is it just because you want to make a sale, or do you have a bigger why at play? I hope you have a bigger why. Because if you don't, you need to press pause, go back and get one, and come back and press play. We all need to have a bigger why, a bigger cause. Maybe it's to get out of debt. Maybe it's to be able to buy a cabin in the woods. Maybe it's to retire early one day, be able to spend family time. Maybe it's to take your wife on a vacation around the world. I don't know. Most dreams, though, I do know, cost money. And there's a lot of cool things you can do when you have money. And I think good people do good things with money. And I also think we need money going in the hands of good people so the world can benefit from it in a good way. So I include you on that list. So yes, we need to go out and make money so we can do crazy, cool, awesome, impactful things. Now, how do we get there? All I know is that you get what you focus on. Okay. That you don't get what you don't focus on is also true. So let me take an analogy and see if this resonates with somebody. We've all driven cars, right? Have you ever gone camping or fishing? You go out in the woods and you're driving along and there's a little splat, a little bug, boom, right there on the windshield. Ugly one, right? A big old fat, juicy, boom, just splats and it goes whoop, like 3 inches up the windshield. You're like, oh, that's disgusting. You don't want to turn on your wipers because then it smears back and forth and it's all up anyways. So we don't want to get into too much gore, but you know what I'm talking about. That big, fat, juicy bug. Well, and then another one, boom, another one, boom. And pretty soon your windshield has a dozen, 2 dozen splatted bugs all over, right? Because you went through, an hour driving along in the mountains and there's just a lot of bugs up there. So number one, if they're mosquitoes, good job, because the world definitely needs fewer mosquitoes and you're doing your part, right? We'll take every little bit we can. But number two, do you focus on all the bug splatters or do you continue to focus on the road ahead? Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, the faster you grow, the harder you push yourself toward success, the more vulnerable and exposed you're going to be toward having things go wrong. Okay. If you're in your safe little bubble and you're not doing much, you also don't risk many things going wrong. So there's that kind of whole thing going on where we don't want to do too much because then, more things could happen. Well, guess what? That's the nature of success. The faster you go, the more bug splatters on your windshield. So the problem isn't the bug splatters. The problem is when we take our eyes off of where we're going, because you're always going to go in the direction of where you're looking. You ever tried to walk and look in a different direction at the same time? You're probably not going to get where you wanted to go. You have to look in the right direction. So if you're driving along, if I'm headed to California, I probably am not seeing California the whole time. In fact, I can guarantee you that I don't. But I can see a couple hundred yards ahead, right? If you're heading for vice president or some nice promotion here at Equus, you may not be able to see that, but for sure, hopefully you can see writing 5 apps a week and maybe adding 1 or 2 agents a week to your roster, right? You can see a smaller amount of growth sustained, as James Clear said. You can expect great things to happen eventually. Now you just have to be patient. Now you're in motion. It's like the little kid that rolls the bowling ball with the tracks up really, really slow. We know it's going to hit some pins, but it might be 3 hours. I'm going to go get lunch and come back and we'll see how this is going. See if we've gotten there yet. You ever been one of those where a little kid just like bink and the ball's like, and it's going to take forever. Well, when the ball's headed the right way and you've got the tracks up, we all know you can just be patient. It's just a matter of time. So let's apply this to you. Get in motion and do the right things. And it's just a matter of time before stuff happens. Okay. It's messy. We don't know the exact date. Okay. But I can tell you this. If you dwell on your past, if you look backwards and try and run forward following any kind of a track, you're guaranteed to not stay on the track because you're looking backwards. You're looking the wrong way. So how does that happen though? Let's break this down one step further. Let's say you've got a rusty past, right? You've just been maybe not having very much success. Maybe it's been going really slow. Maybe you've been a hit and miss. You've been starting, stopping, and you just haven't been consistent or whatever. Okay. And you just constantly beat yourself up over, gosh, I'm no good. How come I can't dial? I can't book anything. Nobody shows up. Everybody doesn't want to do business with me. I'm a horrible agent, on and on. All the noise that we tell ourselves, maybe you've been there. Maybe you are there. Okay. Let me give you something, like I said, I was going to when I first started, to think about all of this in a different way that hopefully will change everything for you. Because how we see things is everything. Your past is neutral. It's not negative, it's not positive. It's a series of events that happen to you, and they're not good and they're not bad. They just are. If you can look at it that way, guess what? Guess what happens? Now your past has an opportunity to become either positive or negative. How? We make it that way by how we see it. If I'm putting on a pair of sunglasses and they're green shade, I'm going to say everything looks green. If I've got blue ones, I'm going to say everything looks blue. Well, who's right? They're both right, because that's how they see the world. So if your past is neutral, you can choose to see it as positive, because you can say, all these things that have happened to me have led me up to this point, to now where I'm finally hungry enough to make some changes that I've been talking about for months. And now I'm serious about actually moving forward, doing something different than I haven't been doing. So taking action. So it's not the definition of insanity anymore, right? I'm going to do something different so that I can finally expect different results. See, I chose to just now, I don't know if you caught this, but I chose to look at my past as a blessing, even though it's been full of horrible results. I can see my past as a blessing, because now I can say, it's finally gotten me to this point where now I'm ready to take action. Now I'm ready to do something different, because we all have to hit that point. You know that, right? To really push yourself out of the comfort zone, you have to hit that point where you're like, dang it, I don't care anymore. I don't care if I get hung up on anymore. I don't care about a guy that tells me that he's gonna, like, whatever, right? Because none of us like rejection. You've got to get to the point where you just don't care anymore, because you care about your dream more than you care about some stranger you just met who doesn't even know you, let alone even care for you. He's just negative and he's just trying to pass it on. When you get to the point where you just, I've had enough, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to be nice, right? But I'm going to push past that. He's a bug on my windshield, and I'm not going to stare at him anymore. I'm going to look past him, and there might be 20 other bugs, but who cares? Because if I look at the bugs, I'm pretty much guaranteed that I'm going to crash my car. I don't know if you've ever tried to drive while looking right here at your windshield. You would think it wouldn't be that hard, because your peripheral vision can still see it in front of you. Don't try this, though. By the way, please don't try this. I don't want a bunch of car accidents out there. But you'll be surprised at how challenging it is, just simply shifting that focus just that much, because the bugs won't get you where you want to go. Looking ahead past the bugs is what's going to do it. So your past might have a bunch of bugs in it. You know what? We're going to call them neutral. We're going to say your past is what it is. It's very based on facts. It's part of your story, which is another blessing. And now they've gotten you to where you're finally at a point where I'm open. I'm desperate, if you want to call it that. I'm a little bit angry. I'm a little bit determined. I got a little fire in my belly, and I am ready to make some serious change in my life. Well, guess what? Your past just became the biggest blessing. Your past just became exactly what you needed to now go transform and make an amazing, beautiful future. So if you're at that point, welcome to the first day of your life. I look forward to working with you. Take care.